human resources and recruitment. People are hired for what they can do, but they're fired for who they are. I'm Paula Rutledge, president of Legacy MedSearch, an executive search firm working exclusively in emerging medical technology with another issue of Medical Career magazine. Okay, you've been fired, let go, terminated. This was not part of a massive reduction in force. That's another issue of Medical Career magazine. But this issue deals with the situations where you were let go for a reason you may or may not agree with. How do you explain it to a prospective employer? Being fired happens to a lot of people. Some good employees and hard workers, and some who are totally complicit in their being let go for inappropriate behavior. Let's start with a scenario that you've been terminated for a performance issue. You didn't make your numbers, you didn't complete a project to your company's satisfaction, or you didn't make or take your manager's instructions or do something similar like that. It was a performance issue. The question is, just how much do you divulge during an interview? Here's tip 1. In a screening interview, a phone interview, or in the early stage of the process, streamline your answer and practice it enough so that you are reporting the incident, not reliving it. Practice your why I left story so it's factual and a factual accounting of what happened, but not a movie of the week dramatic reenactment. Here's an example from a recent scenario. Sales rep, great long-term track history, goes to work for a startup company. He has a solid but fairly unremarkable first year as he is building a pipeline in a paradigm-shifting medical technology. A new director of sales comes in, and 1 month later, with no warning, he is fired for sales performance. Here's what I instructed him to say in subsequent interviews. I had a great run at ABC Company and know that my contributions were appreciated and valued during my tenure. A new director of sales was hired, and at the time, I had a strong pipeline and anticipated a strong quarter. But he made a decision in his first 30 days to go in another direction, and I was terminated. While I wish he had given me the time I needed to close the sales, I understood that he was wanting to make an immediate impact and felt more comfortable hiring a sales rep he worked with in the past. What other details would you like me to provide at this time? Now, note the length of that explanation. It was only about 3 or 4 sentences, with a volley question back to the interviewer, the "what else would you like to know" part. For the initial interview, that's enough, provided that you leave the door open for the interviewer to ask follow-up information. Let's review that again, so that you can construct your response in an honest but concise way. Here's the format. Number 1. Introductory statement, something that's positive. Something like, I can't tell you how much I learned during my time at ABC, or something similar. In other words, lay the foundation. Number 2, the something happened section. Again, be factual, honest, self-deprecating, appropriate, and genuine. This is not the place for an indignation, whether it's righteous or not. Here's an example of the what happened part of your story. We introduced a new product in Q2 and frankly, we came up short on inventory and the company had a 4-month back order. Since it was my department that led the buyer planning functions, the company decided to bring in someone with more launch experience and I was terminated. The final component should be the silver lining or lessons learned sentence. Make a statement that shows that you not only learned from the experience, but that you would bring even more experience to a new company than you left in your last one. Here's an example. I have to tell you, the experience was difficult, not just for me, but my former company, I'm sure. But I'm confident that my track record of working with manufacturing on Kappa issues, along with my project management skills, can really make the difference here at XYZ. What else would you like me to tell you about my leaving ABC Company? One more thing. If you've been fired for cause, get it out in the open fairly early. Certainly prior to a face-to-face interview, since the background check will reveal the circumstances anyway. And last, have a sense of what your company, your former company, will say when we call for an employment verification. While privacy laws constrain too much information being offered from a former employee, some former employees will indicate whether or not you're eligible for rehire. So know what's in your file publicly before you pick up the phone to start job hunting. That's this issue of Medical Career Magazine, sponsored by Legacy MedSearch. Don't forget to check out our forum at www.medicaldeviceguru.com or our website at www.legacymedsearch.com for some more great tips. I'm Paula Rutledge. Thanks for joining.